Hey there, good morning. It's Meteorologist Julia Kwedi. It's another weather impact alert day for us here in East Tennessee as we're tracking now the cold temperatures are in place for us early this morning. It was a bit of a frigid start to say at the very least. Right now, taking a look at our view from our downtown cam over downtown Knoxville, can still see, of course, that snowfall left over here in our area. Not going to see too much of a difference from that. And maybe some of us waking up a little bit earlier this morning saw a sighting of a couple flurries still out there across the valley and for the higher elevations at this very moment. Not expecting any more additional snowfall accumulation across the area. Just maybe all that Arctic air just really interacting with that any leftover moisture in our atmosphere, just kind of wringing out what's left over of that, causing some of those flurries to still be falling out of the sky right now. But for the most part, again, like I mentioned, not really expecting any impacts from that or any snowfall accumulation to add on top of what we have currently already on the ground at this moment. Looking at our temperatures, our focus in terms of why we are under a weather impact alert day today and ahead for us, at least for the first half of your day tomorrow and your Monday, is tied to these really cold, well below freezing and below zero feel like temperatures across the area. Looking at our feel like temperatures across the region, that's going to be, of course, the orange numbers next to the white numbers there. They're going to be into the teens or into the single digits or below zero, especially heading closer towards the plateau communities. Actual air temperatures will be sitting in the teens primarily, but the focus is going to be primarily on those feel like temperatures or wind chill values that are especially in the single digits or well below zero. That's why we have those cold weather alerts currently in effect for us today until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Most of us here in East Tennessee going to be under that light shade of blue, so that's indicating that cold weather advisory that's in effect right now, and that's tied towards wind chill values that could be into the single digits or as low as -5 degrees. Looking at that dark shade of blue there, that's going to be across the higher elevations, across the mountains into the state of North Carolina. They're going to be under that extreme cold warning. So that's going to be areas experiencing wind chill values as low as -20 degrees. So again, brutally cold temperatures in place for us here across East Tennessee as relates towards this Arctic air that's in place right now. But again, things will start to improve, especially as we look ahead towards the midweek. Now, more details on that in just a few more moments. Right now, looking at satellite radar, things are fairly quiet for the most part, but we do see a little bit of some flurry action possible along the higher elevations still this morning. So things are still going to be relatively quiet. Again, not expecting any impacts in terms of any snowfall really being added towards accumulation in terms of what we already have on the ground across the region. But again, just deciding on maybe some flurries heading out the door this morning across some parts of the valley and maybe a little bit closer towards the higher elevations for us this morning on our Sunday. Looking at our futurecast throughout the day today, we're going to see a bit of a decrease in the cloud cover that's already currently in place. So it's going to allow for a couple more glimpses of that sunshine, not really help out all too much with our temperatures, although they will increase as well, reaching somewhere into those mid to upper 20s. But again, it's not going to quite feel like it. We'll still see our feel like temperatures or wind chill values lagging a bit behind, at least during the early afternoon hours, as we'll still have, of course, that wind chill values still hanging around for the most part into the single digits or as low as -5 degrees, again, with that cold weather advisory in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, thankfully, gusty winds are not going to be a part of our forecast picture today as they were yesterday. We're going to see that wind gusts will only be topping out nearby 10 miles an hour. So really a light breeze that we have to endure along with those cold temperatures in place today. So that's going to give us a bit of a break on that front. But like I mentioned, it is a weather impact alert day, just tied toward these bitterly cold temperatures in place today and what's going to be ahead for us tomorrow on our Monday morning, as we'll be waking up once again to temperatures in the single digits. So the biggest concerns will be making sure that you're dressing warmly and dressing properly, wearing those extra layers and those extra bundles to make sure that you're covering up any exposed skin, to make sure you're not dealing with any issues like frostbite or worse, hypothermia, if you spend too much time outdoors in these extremely cold temperatures and conditions that are in place right now today and ahead for us tomorrow on your Monday morning. Like I said, we'll be waking up to temperatures into the single digits, around 9 degrees, and for sure we can expect that wind chills could maybe be slightly below that as we wake up and start our day on our Monday there. Now, thankfully, we are not sticking around with these cold temperatures for too much longer. Looking at our temperature trend here going into our Monday afternoon, we'll see our temperatures increase above the freezing point into those upper 30s, and then heading into our Tuesday, we are back towards near average high temperatures into the 40s, expecting our high temperature to reach at 48 degrees on Tuesday, then hang out into those low 40s to upper 30s by the time we reach our Thursday there. So looking ahead, at least for the next 7 days or so, into our first week of February here, going to see our temperatures kind of reach a little bit closer towards that near average range. Not quite reaching it yet because average this time of year is going to be 50 degrees, so we're still below that, but we're one step for sure closer ahead for the midweek compared to where we are right now. Temperatures well below that mark into the 20s for our afternoon highs. Now, along with those warmer temperatures that we can look forward to on our Tuesday and carrying on over into our Wednesday into the 40s, we will be tracking another system that's going to push its way into the region. The leading edge of it really going to provide some widespread rainfall across the region for us here in East Tennessee. Maybe a little bit of some specks of purple and blue coming into the map across maybe some parts of higher elevation. So it's a bit in the realm of possibility that we could see a couple flurries happening across the region in relation to the system arriving in our area late on Tuesday into your Wednesday. We're not going to expect much for any accumulation right now. Really, primarily, this is just going to be a rain event that's going to pass through the area late on Tuesday, carry on over into your Wednesday, and just give us some rainfall that we are going to have here in the area. Not really expecting much of any impacts beyond that. So looking at your 7-day forecast here, we just got to get through today and tomorrow morning, and things will start to look up and a bit better in terms of these cold temperatures that have been in place. I know I'm especially looking forward to Tuesday with temperatures in those upper 40s, and even looking ahead towards your Friday, we're going to be back up there into those upper 40s with a little bit more sunshine after the system passes through with that rainfall in the region. So just make sure you continue to dress warmly today and tomorrow under these weather impact alert days tied towards this cold weather, and just be prepared for things to get a bit better and a bit warmer and more comfortable ahead for us, at least for the first few days in our first week of February. Stay warm and have a great day.